Wilson, how are you?
Good. I was just watching on YouTube, and I play it every now and then.
What?
Skid Row.
Yes.
I definitely do play it every now and then because I'm like, I remember her, even going back to Ryan's Hope,
Now, that says Ryan's Hope, that's what I'm like, yeah, they know about my career.
and I said to myself, and I'm looking at your background, and I know what you've done, and like, to be in this game now, over 30 years, and you're still working actively. What does that mean to you?
It means that I made a few right choices and that God is good. I always thank God for being blessed to do what I love doing. Because even as a little girl, I would think, wow, there are people that wake up every day hating their jobs. And I said, every time I would like complain about, oh, I'm tired, I don't want to go. And sometimes you get tired of doing, especially theater, sometimes it just kind of gets redundant. And I said, there are people that wake up hating what they do every day. And here you are waking up and doing what you love every day. So I stopped complaining. But I've been blessed because being given a platform to entertain and make people laugh, make people smile, make people cry, make people think. It's my job. It's my duty. It's my responsibility. It is my love. And I always pray that I can continue to do it for as long as I want to do it. And God has afforded me wonderful opportunities to be able to express myself creatively. And I just want to continue to do it for as long as I can.
You're on the neighborhood. It got renewed. So there's always that job security, especially these days.
Especially when you got a kid.
CBS is known for having faith in their shows,
Thank God. Yes.
And they give it the time and patience, to let it run its course, get that audience. They don't worry about what social media is like. Hey, we got a show to do. Let's keep running with it, and you've been on it. And obviously this year, some of the episodes have dealt with what's happening in real world, coming back and taking the shows compared to how last year was, because last year was like a whole another world, What was that feeling like coming back, filming these episodes, and it's a whole new ball game? You're still keeping the trajectory of what the show's about, but you're adding in certain elements.
Yes, well, COVID has changed a lot. And I've been telling people, either you're going to let being in quarantine beat you and defeat you, or you're going to get something out of it. And we no longer have an audience in the show, so now we don't have, that audience laughter, that energy that, one would need for a multi-camera show. But having, I would say CBS has done an amazing job at making us as actors and the crew and the production feel safe. Oh, they are not playing at CBS. So, which is why we were able to come back in the midst of a pandemic and make people laugh. So I think on top of Cedric and Jim Reynolds really being proactive at making sure that we do real subjects, things that subject matters that, their messages, but delivered through comedy and through laughter. And that's a wonderful way to just kind of feed people information. And I love that the show, The Neighborhood, bridges gaps. Like, we literally have conversations off camera about the Black and white experience. So I'm like learning on this show as well because of the subject matters. And it's been a great experience. It really has. And I'm very happy to be, and sitcom, doing multi-camera and being a parent, it's a lot easier because the schedule is a lot more, contained, and you can have a normal life, whatever your normal is. So, but it's, and a lot of people don't know, this is my first time being on a major network. I've never been on a major network.
You don't consider Fox a major network?
Fox was an independent network when Martin came out. It was an independent network. That word independent was good, you know.
So that's a big difference when it comes to the paychecks, huh?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You know, but think about it. Throughout the seasons, has Tina changed, or is it the same Tina from day one?
Same Tina from day one. I think Jim Reynolds, my character is a grounded character, because with Cedric's character not really being able to accept a white man living next to him, women, we give something a little different, and it's about one mother to another. It becomes about motherhood first, and then you see the color. I mean, that's how you would want it to be. And I just, I love the way Jim allows us to give our opinions about the characters, but I'm that type of person. I don't really want that much information. I like opening the script and not knowing what's going to happen, because I like to be surprised. But I always like to insert a little bit of myself and my own personality into all my characters so I can be believable as an actress. But yeah, I think this show has evolved in a really, really wonderful way. I was telling Jim and Cedric that I think it's great that we have such we have a Black audience, because when you have that Black audience, they stick with you. I watch people's opinions. I watch like on social media. They say, "Oh well, why did the show was all right this week?" When we first started out, but that it's a process, and that's the fun part of it for me. I like convincing people to like it. I like that.
It's tough, you can't be like certain shows where it's a roller coaster, great ratings one week, down ratings the next week. You can't get into that hype as far as, you just gotta, hey, that's not my job. Your job is to do it. And if the audience is there, they're gonna watch it, as long as we're renewed for the entire season. It's not a race, it's like, hey, we're gonna come back next year. Eventually certain episodes are gonna stick with others and others not. Hey, we're here to entertain Mondays and so forth. How is it working with this cast? It's kind of funny as I look at your career. He goes, oh, everybody hates Sniff. Now you got like an adult son. It's like, wait a minute, you don't change. Yeah,
adult sons.
Yeah, 2 adult sons. I'm like, wait a minute. Unless you have that episodes where like I had them when I was 14.
But I thought about that because when I auditioned for the role of Tina, the character was a little older. Jim wrote her, older. She was like a holy roller. And I'm like, Jim, like, I can't really be a holy roller. I'm kind of in an age group because my friends back in the day, like a lot of my girlfriends had children before me. I was like the last of the Mohicans. I didn't have my daughter until I was 35. And so I was an older mother, and I had to insert my mom, my grandmother, and my aunt to learn how to play a mother. So when I did Everybody Hates Chris, I was a new mother. I didn't really know how to be a mother because I was new at it. And so when I got to playing Tina, I'm like, oh Lord, I'm going to be playing mothers really for the rest of my life. And I embrace it because the Black women, they're my age group. A lot of my friends had children earlier, by 17, 17, 18. So, the 90s they were interesting, fun and amazing, but very interesting. So you have a whole group of people that were young mothers and still are. I'm young at heart, but I wasn't a young mother then. I had chosen career before, making a family or having a family. And Tina has been a wonderful thing to play because she's a staple for the show. I think she's just, she's not like Rochelle. She's not like my other characters. She's a little more calm, it's CBS, so I can't go too crazy with the character. So that I like that because it stretches my muscle as an actress as well to be able to kind of play an even-toned character.
So take away Tina and you look back at the roles you've played, whether it be on film or TV shows. If you had to go back and, during the pandemic, we had people getting together, cast from previous movies and shows on Instagram or whatever, just to find ways to entertain people and bring them back. And you see nowadays, you got everything old is new again, from Punky Brewster to the Karate Kid and all of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Could there ever be, if you had time to go back to one of your roles, which one would you let it be for one day only?
It would definitely be Cassie on Survivor's Remorse. Most definitely. I feel like Survivor's Remorse ended too soon. I didn't want it to end. And I just, you feel it coming. It's like, oh, we're not going to make it. But I really would love to play Cassie again. I enjoy playing that role because it was the first time, being a single camera on a cable network. You could curse. So it was like, I could play. It was almost like I was Rochelle Uncensored. An older Rochelle Uncensored.
But that goes back to what I said earlier, from Ryan's Hope to Little Shop of Horrors to Martin to One-on-One. You've had a long career that people have watched you, even when it seems like you haven't been on TV for so long. But when you are on a show, it lasts enough time. So you got enough episodes, or like the residual is going to keep you good, What goes into saying yes to the projects you take?
The money. I mean, you gotta be real. The money, but more importantly, I was just saying in another interview, I knew that this was meant for me to do because I got to the point, because, being in show business since childhood, it makes you grow a different muscle. And I was appreciative when it got to the point where I was dead broke, didn't have 2 pennies to rub together, and was offered, had an opportunity at some certain roles. And I was just like, no, that morally, I don't want to take this role. So I was at a crossroad. Do you do it for the money, or do you protect your legacy? Do you just do it and not care about everything that you've invested all these years in yourself and in your career, and just take the money and do it? Or do you wait? And do you wait on God to really bless you with something that you're supposed to have? And when I made that decision, that's when I knew my career, I was just on the right path.
Mm-hmm. Well, you continue to work. Obviously, you are an inspiration to a lot of people because, for someone like myself to say, hey, you've been around, wherever I go, whether I stop or not, if I don't watch TV for a month, I come back. There you go. If I don't watch TV for a year, there you go. So we need that constant person in our lives when we're turning on the TV, when we're watching a movie, to know that you're working, because, you set the trail for other people to say, hey, if she can do it and find ways to stay in the game, that's the door that still stays open. So appreciate talking to you. Just keep doing your job. We'll continue to watch your show out every Monday, and we'll talk down the road.
Thank you so much, Wilson. I appreciate it. And you
take care.
Be safe.
Yes. Bye.
Bye-bye.